Hello everyone. I hope you all are doing good. I'm Mrs. Tutima Vashistha. Today we are meeting for our social science class. In today's class, we will be taking up a new civics chapter, that is the Union Executive. So let's get started with the chapter. All right. So as you can see in your book, this is chapter 15 from your civics part, that is the Union Executive. And in today's class, the topics that we are going to look into is the president, its power and functions, and about the vice president and its powers and functions. And from today's class, your learning outcome will be you will be able to understand towards the end of the class how is the president appointed, how is the vice president appointed, what is the qualification required to become a president and a vice president, what is the way of removing a president or and the vice president, and also you will be able to acquire knowledge and to understand the different powers and functions of both president and the vice president. All right, first we will look into the president. So as the chapter name is Union Executive, as you can remember that our Indian government or the Indian justice system has three main organs, that is the executive, legislature, and the judiciary. The legislature chapter we have already done it about the parliament. Today we are going to look into the executive. Who comprises the executive? So the executive is comprised mainly by the president, vice president, the prime minister, and the council of minister. All right. So first we will be looking into details in today's class about the president and the vice president. So the president, I think you all know, he is the ceremonial head or the nominal head of the country. Now, what does that mean? That means that he is not the real head. The real power lies basically in the hands of the prime minister. The president basically functions on the advice of the prime minister and his council of minister. So basically, if any kind of signatures and authorities is required, that is the role of the president. Otherwise, the main decisions or the real powers lies in the head of the prime minister, lies in the hands of the prime minister. So what are the qualifications required to become a president of the country? First and foremost, definitely he or she has to be a citizen of India. Secondly, the age has to be above 35 years or age, 35 years of age. Thirdly, he or she should have been a member, qualified member of Lok Sabha. He or she should have remained a member of Lok Sabha. And fourthly, to become the president of the country, he or she should not hold any other offices, any other government office, or any other office or profit under the government. He or she should not hold any other office under the government. Now, coming to the next part is the election. How is the president elected? So the president is elected by something called the electoral college. Now, who comprises the electoral college? The electoral college consists of members of both the houses of parliament, that is the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha, and also the MLAs, the members of legislative assembly. So the president is appointed by the electoral college, who comprises of the uh, members of the parliament, MPs, and the members of legislative assembly, that is the MLA. Now, what is the tenure? The tenure of the president is for a period of 5 years. All right, the president is elected for a period of 5 years. He can also be re-elected for another term after the 5 years gets over. The same president can also be re-elected. Uh, the successor to the president, however, supposedly, if the 5 years of the president is about to get over, so before the next president comes, the successor to the president must be elected before the 5 year term gets over. All right, so before the expiry of the 5 year term only, the election to the next president has to be held and the president has to be chosen. All right, and in the case or that if the president dies or he resigns, all right, or the president is might be removed, then at that point of time, who will take the in charge of the president? It is the vice president who will take up the charge of the president of the country. And once the vice president takes the charge, or the vice president will take the charge within only for 6 months. Within 6 months, the next president has to be elected within 6 months of the resignation of that president, or no death of the president, or removal of that president. So that was about the tenure. Next is impeachment. Now, what is impeachment? Impeachment is the process of of removing a government official from his or her post. So the president can be removed through a process called impeachment. So here it means the removal of a government official from his or her office without his consent. Then one of the houses of the parliament can start the impeachment. For the impeachment to take place, both the members, both houses members will take part in this process, but on either of the house will start this impeachment process. All right. And the president, and once the president, once the both the houses of the parliament, if the president gets two-thirds of the members agrees that the president should be removed, then the president can be removed from his post. So this process is known as impeachment, where a government official can be removed from his post without his consent, and two-thirds of both the houses of the members will have to agree for the same. Now let's look in details the powers and functions of the president. Now the president performs various types of functions, or the president has many powers. So let's look into those powers. First one is executive power. Under executive power, the president appoints whom? The president, the prime minister is always appointed by the president of the country. All right. And the president also has the power to appoint the governors. In every state has a governor, right? So the governor is appointed by the president. The different higher officials or the ambassadors or the other dignitaries of the state, all these appointments are given by whom? The president of the country. Secondly, the another executive power of the president is that the president is the supreme commander of the Indian Defence Force. He is the leader or the highest authority of Indian Defence Force is the president. The army, navy, and the air force. Under defense force, what comes? Under defense, it comes the army comes, navy comes, and the air force comes. So the president is the supreme commander of this Indian Defense Force. So these are the two powers under the executive power. Let's look into the legislative power. Under legislative power, the president addresses the first session of the parliament. All right. So whenever in the every year parliament session takes place, right? So the first session which takes place in the parliament, that first session will always be addressed by the president. All right. When after a government is formed, when a new government is formed, the first session that will be held in the parliament, that will be definitely addressed by the president of the country. Secondly, we got in our previous chapter, how does a bill become a law? A bill becomes a law only when it is when the signature of the president is put there. When the president assigns it or approves it, then only a bill will become a law. Then another legislative power is what? The president can nominate 12 members to the Rajya Sabha and 2 members to the Lok Sabha from the Anglo-Indian community. All right. So these are the two powers. This is another legislative power which the president has, where the president can nominate 12 members to the Rajya Sabha and 2 members to the Lok Sabha from the Anglo-Indian community. Then the president can hold a joint session. Now, what does a joint session mean? Joint session means where the members of both the houses will be present. Now, supposedly over a bill, there is a confusion over a bill. No, both the houses are not able to come into an agreement over a bill. Then at that point of time, the president can arrange for a joint session where both the houses of the parliament will be there, and the president will call for that joint session. So these are the 3 main legislative powers of the president. Now let's look into the judicial powers. I think you all have heard that if the Supreme Court gives any kind of death sentence or punishment to a criminal, then the last stage is with the last person whom the accused can approach is always the president. They can make a request to the president to forgive them or grant them pardon. So this is another power, judicial power of the president, where the president has the power to reduce the amount of punishment that is given to a particular victim, not a victim, to the accused, or to grant pardon or to excuse them or to pardon them for the mistake that they have done. That is that is a very strong power which the president has. Secondly, appointment of the judges. In terms of the appointment of the judges of both Supreme Court and the High Court, the appointment is done by the president of the country. Thirdly, the president can also consult the Supreme Court on issues of public importance. Now, if there are any kind of issues which is on the interest of the common people or the citizens of the country. So at that point of time also, the president can consult the Supreme Court. All right. And the fourth judicial power is what? Criminal proceedings cannot be started against the president during his term of office. Now, if any kind of criminal charges are put against the president, so those kind of criminal proceedings or criminal hearings in the court cannot take place when he or she, when the president is still in his or her post. Once the person is removed from the post of the president, only then criminal proceedings can be started. As long as a person that person is president of the country, no criminal proceedings can be started against that person. Got it? Next power is financial power. So there are three main financial power. First one is, we all know that president's approval is required before introducing a money bill. A money bill which can be introduced only in the Lok Sabha. It can be introduced only after the president says and yes, the permission of the president is required. Secondly, the president appoints a finance commission to make recommendation about the distribution of taxes. All right. So the finance commission is again, the appointment of finance commission is appointed by whom? The president. And what is the responsibility of the finance commission? To make recommendations related to the distribution of tax. Tax, we all know what is tax, right? So those who are in job, they need to pay a price or amount of money to the government, right? So the president will appoint that finance commission whose responsibility is to make recommendations about how the tax collected should be distributed between the center, state government and the central government. The last one is the budget. We all know that we all keep on hearing that the budget session is going on. Budget means in a particular year how much money will be allotted for the departments. We all know that when a government is formed, there are many portfolios or departments, right? There is tourism, there is education, there is health, there is defense. So when in the parliament session, in the budget session, the president it is the responsibility or the power of the president to lay the annual financial statement or the budget, like how much money will be allocated in which department. So it goes under the authority of the president of the country. The last power is the emergency power. So the president can declare emergency in the country in three main situations. First one is if the country is going through any kind of financial crisis or any kind of financial emergency is there. So at that point of time also the president can declare emergency if there is a financial instability in the country. Secondly, if any war in terms of security, if there is some security issues taking up or some war is about to take place, all right. So at that point of time also the president has the power to declare emergency. And thirdly, if the president is dissatisfied, it can declare emergency in a state if he or she is satisfied that the state cannot be run according to the law of provisions of the law. If it might happen that that particular state government is not able to run the state properly, so at that point of time also the president can dissolve that government and president rule can be imposed in that particular state. All right, if the president feels that a particular state is not performing according to the given provisions of the law, so at that point of time that government can be dissolved and president rule can be imposed. So these are the three main situations where a president rule can be imposed in the country or emergency can be imposed in the country only by the president. Now let's come to the next part of the member of the executive, that is the vice president. Now who is the vice president? As I said, he is also an important part of the branch part of the government. And basically the vice president, he or she assists the president. Although the president is always assisted by the vice president. And the vice president, as we got to know, if the president dies or is removed or resigns, so at that point of time the vice president will take the responsibility of the president for a period of 6 months. Now, what are the qualifications required? Again, the first and foremost, he or she has to be an Indian citizen. The age is same as the president, 35 years age of he or she has to be 35 years of age. Thirdly, unlike the president has to be a qualified member to Lok Sabha, but the vice president has to be a qualified member to the Rajya Sabha. Just that is the only difference between the qualification of president and the vice president. All right. And fourthly, he or she should not hold any kind of government office should not hold any other office under the government. So these are the main 4 qualifications required for the vice president. Now, how is the vice president elected? Again, for electing the vice president also, there is an electoral college. Now who comprises in that electoral college? It consists members of both the houses of the parliament. Here, please remember, only for the vice president election, only the MPs takes part. The MLAs does not take part. On the other hand, on the voting of the president, both MPs and MLA, they are a part of it. Okay. And the vice president is always elected through a secret ballot. Secret ballot, you understand, right? Where a box will be there where people have to write the name whom they want to vote, and they will have to put that their preference of choice or their choice in that box, right? So that is known as secret ballot. So the vice president is usually elected through this process of secret ballot. Now, what is the tenure for what is the term of office? The president is elected for a period of 5 years. All right, it is same as the president, and also the vice president can be elected, re-elected for another term too. And the vice president can be in his or her post till the expiry, I mean till the 5 years, or till the next another successor is chosen, till the next vice president is chosen after the 5-year term is over. Till then also the president, the vice president can remain in the office. Okay. Now coming to the impeachment, what is the impeachment? Is again how a vice president can be removed. It is the to remove the vice president. It is a resolution. If a resolution is passed by both the houses, majority members of Rajya Sabha. Here, if the majority members of the Rajya Sabha agrees or passes a resolution, means like an agreement to remove the vice president. If majority of the members of the Rajya Sabha, especially, please remember, not Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha agrees that the vice president should be removed, then the vice president can be removed, and also the Lok Sabha, the Lok Sabha members should also agree to the same. So both the majority members of both the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha has to pass an agreement or resolution that they want to remove, that they want the vice president of the country to be removed. All right. The resolution to remove the vice president can be moved only if the president has been given a 14-day notice of the same. Now, before giving that resolution, the 14-day notice has to be sent to the president prior, to the president of the country. They have to, both the members of the houses of the parliament, they have to bring to the notice of the president that they want to, that due to some reasons that they want the vice president to be removed from his or her office. All right. So this is the impeachment process for the removal of the president. For the president, both 2/3 members of both the houses has to agree, and for the removal of the vice president, majority of both the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha member has to pass a resolution, and that resolution has to be brought to the notice of the president prior to 14 days on a 14-day notice. All right, it has to be brought to the notice of the of the president of the country. So that was all about the powers of president and how the vice president is elected. I hope students, you have understood today's class. You have understood the two main part of the union executive, that is the president and the vice president. In our next class, we will be looking into the other remaining part of the executive, that is the prime minister and the council of minister. Till then, everyone, take care. Thank you.